It makes for very, very strong basis for a good collaboration between government and the industry. We have to encourage you, and I'm happy that it's in all good things. There's an MPP man at the bottom of it. Ali Muhammad was my good friend, colleague, and was the inspirer of this whole idea, as it should be. I think what we want to state, and what the two ministers have stated, and I want to reinstate, is the determination we have to maintain good relationships with you. Good relations meaning open and constant dialogue. That we hear from you when you want to hear from, when you have to speak, and then whenever we want to hear from you too, we will hear from you. That we maintain a good dialogue, a constant dialogue, so that the various very, very important issues that are before you and before us as a government, we can have constantly your input and guidance. I think that government works best when the industry players and the government have a good two-way communication. And you know that the issues on the ground are being brought to the notice of us, who are responsible for policy, and that the policies we make then also respond to the issues on the ground. That's the way of progress. And I see in an organization like yours, an organization that understands very well the way forward for our country. So you're welcome here. And it's a pity that this has been the first time that you've been. Yes. I would like you to be more frequent, guests here. But the key matters that you have identified as being your remit, the advocacy role that you have to play, it's a formidable one, and it's a very important one. Because at the end of the day, if the Ghana Beyond Aid mantra is going to be move on from just talk to reality, it means that we will have to take control of our economic destiny. The control is not in the old language of the commanding heights and nationalization, but making sure that the market is dominated by Ghanaians, and that therefore value creation is done principally by Ghanaians. No, we have to welcome foreign investment and foreign players. But at the end of the day, we want a situation where the market, whatever area the market works in, is a market that is dominated by Ghanaians. I used to complain all the time that I don't understand when it comes to the building of roads or any serious engineering work in this country, that you only hear of foreign companies. There was a time when you only hear of Sunitra, your friends say, Tasek, and about two or three others. That's all. Yes. Yeah. But Kasajan was even a Ghanaian, Armenia via Ghana, or Ghana via Armenia. But Tasek, Sonitra, etc., were the constant interlocutors in this industry. That is not a narrative that does us any credit. We have to change that narrative. I don't know any country, seriously developed country, where you go there and the key contractors, the main builders, the main infrastructure creators are foreign elements. Invariably local people, domestic people. And that is what we have to work towards here in Ghana. And for that to happen, we need your support. We need your collaboration and constant interlocutor. So let me welcome you, as I said very well. I think the matters of technical matters that engage you are matters that already I can see from what my ministers are saying, that they are fully seized of, and those matters that require my direct support, the enactment of the Construction Industry Development Bill. I didn't know how far it has gone, but I think it is now, as a result of this discussion, going to be very, very front on my diary and in my priorities to make sure that it is enacted as soon as possible. Whatever obstacles there are always obstacles to the passage of legislation. But if there's a will, there's a way. And I think we have to find the will so that we get the way and go forward. I think the review of the mortgage law is something which is so critical to the growth of our real estate industry. And it's already a matter of serious discussion and priority amongst them. In all of this, I think the one thing that was raised, which has not been discussed very much, but which we cannot run away from, if we are going to be able to deal with the infrastructure deficit in our country, apart from roads, we have the deficit in our housing. They say this is a stock of what, 2 million units? 1.8 million units of housing that we need. A critical aspect of it is our ability to build houses cheaply. We cannot continue to ignore the expensive methods of construction that has made housing here virtually a monopoly of the rich. It shouldn't be the case. The richest country in the world, America, has some of the cheapest housing that you can come across anywhere in the world. We are here in Ghana and some small three-bedroom house in East Legon, places is costing you $350,000, $400,000, $500,000. You get mansions for that in many parts of America. Yes, $100,000, $200,000 maximum. That gives you a very well-appointed home because the materials that go into construction in the United States are local, they're indigenous, and they are very, very cheap. We need to find a solution to how we can build strong houses here, but cheaply. And I think that is something that we all have to put our heads around and find a solution to it so that we can then address the housing matters. The development that is taking place in our country is so rapid. If we don't take care, we wake up one day and we find our big city is nothing but huge slums with all of the implications that has for social and stability. We'll have ourselves to blame. And we can only avoid that if we can find a way of building homes cheaply so that most people who earn a reasonable amount of money, income, can afford to be able to get houses for themselves. So, Mr. Senior Policy Advisor, all these important matters you're put on the table. For me, the cost of construction is one of the most significant and the ones that I think that we should all find a way to address. We could go on for a very long time when you look at the matters that have been put before me. It wouldn't serve too much problem because the talking helps in terms of clarifying minds. I've learned a lot already this evening. But at the end of the day, we want to get on and do things. So I want to assure you that of the cooperation, the collaboration of my government with you, your constituent members, as well as the overall organization, to address the concerns that you have about the development of our infrastructure and housing development in the country. And to let you know that, God willing, sooner than later, you'll get some money in your pocket as well. Thank you very much indeed for coming here.
Joy 99.7 FM. Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
The president interacting with the Chamber of Construction. It was a very warm interaction. He welcomed them and hoped that they would come more often. But of course, he raised the important issue of the cost of houses in the capital, especially in the capital, especially. Now, he's right, isn't he, that there are parts of the capital where homes cost far more than they would in Manhattan. You know, Manhattan is perhaps the most upscale part of New York City. But there are homes in Accra that are more expensive than homes in Manhattan. and it doesn't seem to make sense. The president is pointing to the cost of construction, you know, and it's true. I mean, we do use very outdated construction methods in Ghana. We are loading concrete, cement into construction when there are so many new technologies, prefabricated homes, which are not just cheaper but quicker to build. There are even brick homes are cheap compared to concrete, but we seem married to the idea of building with cement and concrete. The question though is that really what is accounting for the expense of houses in Accra because we use cement? Is that why they are expensive? Or is land a component of that expense as well?
In fact, land is a big deal because where you build is more important. We all know the scramble for lands in prime areas in this country. Virtually half of the lands have litigation on them. The other half are also occupied by rich people who are building for their friends and people that perhaps are living outside the country. So if you work in the Republic of Ghana today and see, if you follow, and I make it a point to do that, I follow some realtors so that I'll be up to date with what's happening in the market, even though most likely I'll not be able to buy any of them anyway. And if you look at me, because I follow them, sometimes I just ask myself, so there's one that I'm seeing right now, which is a 3-bedroom with 1-bedroom boys quarters. Specifications: fully furnished, CCTV, 24/7 security, electric fence, inbuilt wardrobe, master bedroom, walled and gated. And there is also a part that says serene environment. This is at East Legon Hills, and it talks about the price being $270,000.
What? 270,000 what?
Dollars. I mean, to be fair, none of the things I'm quoting, like the president quoted, will be in CDs. I think it will be quite preposterous to expect this to be in CDs. But $270,000. If you do it, so 270 times 6, not 6, I mean 7 will be more appropriate. Even if it's just 2 times, it's 1.4 million CDs. That's what's telling
Where is
you.
East Legon Hills?
East Legon Hills is, I think I did this description some time ago and I got in trouble. It's almost like beyond Adringano. When you go beyond even Majo, right, to be fair, when you go way back
So
there,
East Legon Hills
is
Santo.
ah,
Santo. So when you go, beyond Majo,
yes,
Nana Krum,
very good.
when you go beyond those places, and-
Beyond my area.
yes, and you're using that road to Ashaiman. So there's a road there leading to Ashaiman. You would get to Santo. There's a place they call Japan City.
Yeah, ordinarily it's a place that previously you would never buy even $10,000 land there. To be fair, but because of the change in name and the kind of people who are building there now,
What has happened there also
Yes.
is that you have very good schools springing up around that area. So I don't want to mention names of schools,
Yeah.
but you have international schools, which use the British curriculum and American curriculum around those areas. Now you could go through that part and get to another major estate. That's, for instance, Lakeside. You could get to one of the Lakeside communities also, through East Legon Hills. And so the area that many people call Santor, is today branded East Legon Hills. And in 2011, 2010,
Yeah.
a plot of land
yeah,
at Santor, and I remember this very well, was costing between 5,000 to 6,000 cities.
yeah, that's how important this is. But
Now-
today, you cannot dare think of anything below 50,000 untouched. The land is just there, and very small land too, not like a very huge one.
Now let's be clear, this is not some place that is next door to the ministries.
That's true. It's not airport,
I mean,
residential area.
I mentioned that it is beyond my area.
Yeah,
Now my son, in the morning, it takes him an hour and 10 minutes to get to school.
okay,
And his school is in airport area.
yeah,
Okay, so an hour and 10 minutes. So if you live beyond that, it's probably an hour and a half to get into Accra.
that's true.
Okay, so you are not exactly living next door to Jubilee House,
That's true.
but look at the prices you are required to pay.
Yeah, and I can give you some more. In fact, just by putting the tag luxury in front of that particular listing of a building, you'll be shocked what would the expectation be. $350,000, $450,000, and sometimes way beyond that. It looks clearly that no matter the expectation of the person growing up in this country, there are some buildings and areas. Previously, it was not surprising that you couldn't live in Cantonments or East Legon, but now there are places that you thought were possibly going to be where you live that clearly are out of your range. No matter what you think you have done with, in fact, let's say you are in the public service, you are a senior, you're a director or a deputy director. Unless you do some other wonderful work, there's no way your salary
Wonderful in quotes.
Yes, there's no way your salary can guarantee you any building in those places. Your best choice, Kojo, which is also becoming another problem, is to go way beyond Amasaman. Yeah, that's if you bought the land like 5 or 6 or 10 years ago. So go way beyond that time. That's the only place you may get the opportunity to try and put up something in the corner and get the land to actually buy. Or beyond Dodowa, not Dodowa itself. Now, beyond Dodowa. So I'm telling you, because people, it's become like this small city, the Greater Accra. There's a massive scramble for land in this city. I see people have deliberately bought and hoarded like the way they used to do hoarding in times past. So that it becomes a very scarce commodity that you just by rebranding in one way or the other, push the price in ways that are unreasonable. There's no proper regulation of that space.
There is something about it that I don't get, though.
There are other elements too, but I think deal with land first.
There's something about it that I don't get. It doesn't seem to be governed by economics. The price of property in Accra, it doesn't seem to be subject to economics. And I'll tell you what I mean. First of all, this is Accra, the capital city of a developing country. Yes, there's a lot going on in Accra, and we are emerging. We are an emerging market, as they say. But why must a house in Accra cost more than a house in Manhattan? What are you paying for? What is your money getting you that is so valuable? I mean, we're talking about East Legon Hills. Do you know what's happening in Cantonments?
Yeah.
Do you know how much a house costs in Cantonments? The vice president's house, the one that, well, we don't really know whether it's been abandoned or not. The one that was being constructed, and Dr. Baumia complained about the cost of it when they took up office in 2017. How much was that thing being built for? Wasn't it 14 million?
Yeah, 14 million, yeah.
14 million. One property. 14 million. Do you even understand what a $14 million property would be in the US, in Los Angeles? 14 million.
Almost like a manor.
I mean, do you even know the vast land that will come with it? You would get a national park for 14 million. So this is what I'm saying. I don't know what we are paying for. I don't know what is that value that we are paying. It doesn't seem to follow economic laws. Now, and then year on year, the dollar price of these homes is going up. But the dollar is not depreciating. So why is the price going up? What is making a property that costs...
Because you price it in dollars anyway.
Exactly. So what is making a property that costs $250,000 this year? Why will it cost $300,000 next year? What has changed? Meanwhile, there's empty property across the capital. People are building high rises and struggling to fill them with residents.
Okay. Raymond, you're talking about the cost of land, and you said it was 50,000. In fact, I was going to tell you that it's moved beyond 50,000. But someone has sent additional information and says a cost of 100 by 70 plots at Santor. Today you get at 150,000 Ghana cedis.
Oh, wow.
150,000 Ghana cedis. And a half plot, you get it between 70 to 80,000. Half plot is 50 by 70. That's what we're dealing with right now. So look, the challenge today is that it will cost you more to buy a house in Ghana. And that's the reason you've seen a lot of people resorting to building their own houses. And because they want to build their own houses and do not have a lot of money. Now you ask the question, people have to go beyond Dodo and all.
Yes.
Because a lot of people, the ordinary man doesn't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
He can afford a plot of land in these areas.
Yeah.
And he would take his time after the acquisition of a plot of land to build it. As the reason today, Equiapim South District, Adamorobe, go and ask of a plot of land there. Today, Oyibi, if you get to Oyibi and you branch right, you know where you're going to? I don't want to mention name of estate developers. I know where you're going to.
Mention.
If you're going close to Apollonia,
No, but if you get to Oyibi, just opposite Alabama, to be fair.
yes,
Yeah.
and I'm saying yes. If you move, you can get a plot of land, half plot of $40,000. Oh yes, $40,000, half plot of land
At Adambe.
at around Apollonia.
Oh, I see.
$40,000 for a plot of land.
So forgive me a quick correction. It was 40 million cedis.
Cedis, yeah.
The vice president's property, 40 million cedis. Okay. Still, I mean, back then 40 million cedis was a good $3.5 million at the exchange rates at that time. $3.5 million will buy you a massive property in the United States, in LA or Texas.
Even Akojo, let's look at it today. There are listings in cantonments that are also around the same 3.5 million that not come even 1/10 of what the vice president is supposed to be having.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, if like let's check some of these routers that I follow.
I don't doubt you. But this is the thing. When I say that it defies economics, I want to ask the question: is it the building, the construction method that makes it expensive? Is it the fact that we are still using the old cement, iron rods method? Is that why property is expensive?
2, 1, cost of materials for building. So the guy's already built his house, but he's actually pricing it every year with the current costing. Secondly, they also know that there's a scramble for places to live, and that people with big pockets are willing to pay more for it. If we all said we're not going to pay and that it will deteriorate and become useless over time, no, that was not going to be the case. People have big pockets for it, so you think you can't pay 400? Somebody can buy 2 of those overnight and just get whichever. In fact, somebody can carry money in bags and go and pay for it. So you are really not in a competition that you can win. And there's a last point though: the land. They devalue lands in Accra today by just starting needless litigation on it. So, for example, the scramble for East Legon lands we know today, rich people, he'll come and contest your land. He'll come and raise the issue that he owns the land or somebody else sold it to him. Or that if he can't, the best thing he can do is to say, okay, you take it, give me the money, let me go. If you go to court, he has big lawyers. He have all the powerful people. Then they put some litigation on the land loses value because it may take 4, 5 years or 6 years. You are seeking to build something on it, but you can't do it immediately. So you go and look in some village at some, what they call it, almost like hinterlands, a peri-urban area, where there is very little, what they call it, there's no litigation on the land, so that you can build peacefully and safely. So all of these make it more difficult for people to get the land, because the ones without litigation, they are few. And those are the ones that everybody's scrambling for.
Exactly. And you see, when you make the point, when you make the point about land, look, it is because people buy these properties. That's why people put it up. And you've heard the real estate developers always talk about the fact that we build for the high-end markets. Today, because majority of Ghanaians cannot afford these properties, they move to the outskirts of Accra. It is not a bad thing, because when you move there, you're actually taking development to other parts of the country. But the question is, do we now understand why certain people will do everything possible to live in these areas? And where do they get the monies from? In any country, look, where do people get all these monies from? We should be interested in it. Because if you're selling houses for $1.5 million and people are buying, you should be interested in how they made
people are buying more than one, 2, 3.
You should be interested in how they made about that. Secondly, I think we should begin, this thing we've talked about over and over again, the property taxes. We should begin taxing them. Yahoo Safmafo talked about, the need to even tax land. If you put land there, you're not developing it, they tax it, you go and develop it. I think that if we started taxing them based on the prices they were giving us, a lot of the people will start reducing their prices. Because if you have to pay, you may want to say, oh, they will transfer it. But if you cannot transfer it, because
and nobody's buying.
Nobody's buying.
Because now they can leave the land there and the building there for years with nobody buying. And they don't care.
You may want to reconsider it, because if he keeps it there and says, oh, people will come at 2 million, so I keep it. When I get the 2 million, today's 14 million, I'm gone. And if he's paying tax every year, anybody's occupying, he reduce it and let someone occupy.
Look, let me give you unequivocal proof that it is not the cost of construction that makes houses expensive. You can build the same house in Cape Coast for a fraction of the price, using the same materials. But the value of that house you built in Cape Coast is fractions less than the value of that house in cantonments. Same design, same construction method. The price is millions cheaper. Okay, so no, it's not the construction method at all. There is an artificial bubble. Look, I just got this text message from Yaba. Yaba is into real estate. Good morning, Yaba. Thanks for this. She says, in 2019, a standard plot of land in Chado was going for 30,000 to 50,000 US dollars. Now in 2022, same land, same amenities is going for 120,000 to 150,000 US dollars. Plots of land in cantonments are being sold at 1.2 million US dollars, not cedis, so dollars. So again, my question is, where is the economics here? There is a bubble. Who are these people who are willing to spend so much money for property in Accra? Are they Ghanaians? Where's that money coming from? Let's hear from you. Let's hear from you. Call us, okay? 0302 216 541 or 055 1111 997. The president is complaining about the price of houses in Accra. He says it doesn't make sense that a house in Accra should cost more than a house in the US. Do you agree with him? Do you understand why houses cost so much? Have you bought a house recently? Have you bought property, land recently? How much did you spend on it? Do you think you got value for that money? Why? Why did it cost you so much? What did you pay for? 0302 216 541 055 1111 997. I'd love to hear some first-time callers today. Alberta is in Ajekojo. Alberta, good morning.
Yes, my name is Alberta. This is my first time calling.
Oh, fantastic. Thanks for calling
Yes.
us.
It looks as Western has a lot of research done at the Legon Hills.
Mm-hmm.
My auntie recently bought a plot of land, 70 by 100, 40,000 US dollars. East Legon Hills. And then recently, just at Ajekojo, recently, the piece of land, 70 by 100, higher than 30,000 cedis. Yes. Yes.
And what are you paying for? Is there something in this land? Is there
I
gold?
think it's because of people want to get their peace of mind. They want to buy the land without anybody coming around to say, this is my piece of land. The person is going to cry with you.
Mm-hmm.
So they buy the land because they want to have peace of mind.
Wow.
So they don't really mind how much the land cost. They want peace of mind.
Amazing. Thank you, Alberta. Thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
Wow.
Oh yes, I mean,
Unbelievable.
that's an area I know very well. And look, I've been going to that area since 2010 thereabout, when there were a bit of dispute on the land. Today, 150,000, some 200,000. So those who want to really make quick money, they price it in dollars. They tell you $40,000, and that's the end of it.
But why is the dollar price going up? Gideon is in Tema. Gideon, good morning.
Yes, I've been listening to your discussion, and I think the problem is, you see, the government should develop the rules which connect to the city. I've been to, last week I was in Dubai, and you could see that throughout the town, the train is connected to everywhere. So if you have a problem with the roads which connect to the main city, that is where the pressure will come. So the government has to focus on developing the roads. Look at Tema. There are so many lands, like the lady who called from Ajekojo. There are so many places which lands are not developed. So everybody who has money want to move to Spintex, they want to move to Accra, they want to move to... And for instance, for me, this year, I had to buy a land at Spintex because I live in Afarawa, and the traffic alone, I have to move closer. So if the roads or the infrastructure are not developed, the pressure would come. Everybody who has the resources will be moving to such an area to buy, because it's a killer. I work in Accra, and I have to spend 3 hours from Afarawa to Accra, Jowulu. So if you look at the cost and the stress, that is why people are rushing, putting all their last resources in getting lands there. So like the lady said, the government has to look at the issue. If not, all of us who have the resources will be moving to that area and be buying the property.
I get you, Gideon. Thank you. A lot of pressure on the little land that is nearer to town. Somebody says maybe there's money laundering involved in the property market, and that's what is driving prices up. Could that be? Larry is also in Tema. Hi, Larry. Good morning.
Hi, Kojo. Good morning. My name is Larry. I'm also a realtor. I want to send in my contribution.
Sure.
You know, I have been asking myself, who regulates the prices of properties in Ghana, first of all? Secondly, I want to ask, how do these quantity surveyors, price these properties that have already been constructed long time ago, and then, they quote a current price in USD and all. I have a feeling probably there's laundering. You said people can afford, yes. Probably there's some kind of laundering or a class of people that are, affording these kind of properties. But I think it starts from us identifying who regulates prices. This real estate industry in Ghana is not regulated. And that's where the issue starts with. Anybody can get up anywhere, like you're saying, East Legon Hills, and then you quote a price in USD. Why are you quoting it in USD in the first place? Secondly, why is it, who is informing your pricing decision? Like, I don't understand, Kojo. So please, let's explain it. Let's start from who regulates the whole real estate industry in Ghana, who checks the pricing and all of that.
Yeah.
That is my take.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you very much. Lots of calls from Tema today. Hi, Daniel. Good morning.
Yeah, right. Yeah, good morning. Good morning, guys.
Small.
Yeah. Honestly speaking, I just want to take my personal experience.
Okay.
I live at a greater session, and because of work, I don't want to move outside. So I intended buying a land. So I went around inquiring for people who have big land and they even want to sell a quarter for me. And the kind of prices they are mentioning, I mean, I ran away. I went back to Tripoli. So that is where I bought my land from. So if we can also look at developing other places, and we all don't have to end up trying to get Accra, we should also look at that side. So that is where I bought my land now. That is more affordable. Because buying land in Accra, just a quarter plot going for almost 700, that's insane.
Yeah, I get you, Daniel. Elvis, also in Tema. What's going on? Hi, Elvis. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes. I have two issues. Okay. The first one is, when I look at my area, where I stay around Dowinya, between 5 to Dowinya, you can see so many uncompleted buildings. And it's so staggering. Look, if you live in a story building and you have a look at the whole terrain, the amount of uncompleted buildings will shock you. So sometimes I wonder who those buildings belong to. Okay, and I think this is what is also causing these prices to go up, because people are doing halfway buildings and they're not completing it. So nobody is staying in them. And secondly, because the road infrastructure, the expansions are not being done. Okay, people are living way around the Dowinya, going to Tripoli and all those places without a good road network. Nothing is happening. Okay, so when you wake up in the morning, you are frustrated. My wife, for instance, we live in Dowinya, she works in Osu. Imagine the time she has to wake up, do everything, kids, everything, leave, have to also live with the kids. It's serious. It's serious. I hope we find a solution to this. Yes.
I hope so too. I hope this conversation is the start of such a solution. Let's go across the city now to Kaswa. Hello, Alex. Good morning.
Hello, my name is Alex.
Alex, switch off your radio, please. Switch it off completely and just listen to us on the phone, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Please go ahead.
Well, I want to contribute to your program, please.
Go ahead.
And I think in some part I'll blame the government. The reason why I say I'll blame the government is, let's take somewhere like Weja, towards Koklobite and beyond, and even here in Kaswa. There are nice places here in Kaswa that if government is to develop or even to construct the roads, make sure they are water or potable water, believe you me, all these price hikes, those people out there will reduce their prices. Because Weja, for instance, at the beach there are nice areas there, but go and see the roads. You think if the roads are well constructed, they are water, people will go and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to just buy a land before they build? No. No. But go and see right now. Roads are bad. Come to Kaswa, for instance, where I live in Kaswa, one of the, finest areas that land is quite a little bit cheap, but it's nice. You don't hear any noise, nothing. So those people hyping the price because they have seen that government is not doing much. So if they're able to demarcate or maybe come together, buy some land from the chiefs, and then they can do what? Price the land any amount they want. Because they know that government is not helping. Town and country, what are they doing? Nobody is regulating them. Nobody is doing anything. But if you travel abroad or somewhere, I remember I've gone to Portugal. I've lived in Portugal a little bit. You can live as far as somewhere like Algarve. Algarve is far from Lisbon. About 2 hours drive. The people live there and come to work at Lisbon because there are train system. There are so many activities there that people even want to go and live there, and it's cheap.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, I think we have to blame the government.
Oh, thank you for sharing, Alex. We appreciate your call. Calling now from the most expensive part of Accra, arguably, cantonments, is Edmund. Hello, Edmund. Oh, we've lost Edmund. Oh, dear. Yes. I guess phone calls are as expensive as property in cantonment, so Edmund has to call us back. Thank you, though. Thank you for calling us. 0302 216 541 055 1111 997. What in God's name is making property so expensive in Accra? The president thinks that it has something to do with the construction method. I don't know. I don't know if that's what it is, but we have to figure it out because these prices are unsustainable. Percy is in Accra. Hi, Percy. Good morning.
Hello, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I'm calling from Accra, and I'd like to bring up a concern. So just a few weeks, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, so just a few weeks ago, I was somewhere in Tema trying to get some land, and even the kind of people who were serving me, you can clearly see a lot of people are laundering money. People with little but no experience are involved in real estate now, and that's one way they launder money. And I urge the services to also look into that area because there are a lot of people laundering money through real estate. So that's my little contribution.
Thank you, Percy. Thanks for sharing. Evans shares your view. He says that money laundering is pricing us all out of the housing market. This one says, Kojo, it's the politicians who put their ill-gotten gains into real estate because the prices of these houses keep appreciating. Amma is in Medina. Hi, Amma. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thanks for calling.
I would want to bring some few issues. One is about the government. I'm not talking about this present government, but previous government. Look at the dotted affordable houses that are there uncompleted. At least it could take about at least a fraction of people to live there. Then leave the land to the owners to sell at the point. Nobody is coming. Another thing is about the mentality we have about Ghana, Accra. Everybody wants to come to Accra. We want Accra. Why don't the government push all some of the facilities, the factories, and other things to other places so that those who want work to go there, and then it will bring some pressure down on the land in Accra. So these are the two issues I want to also bring on board. We talk and nothing is done. Look at the affordable house going to Chopoli. They are just there lying down. The government should do something about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Amma. Thank you for sharing. Kay is in Laboni. Hi, Kay. Good morning.
Reduce the
Okay. Hello. Is this better?
Hello, Kay. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not bad at all. Laboni is not cheap, eh?
Well, I'm only driving through.
Oh, all right then. Drive fast.
So when I was like, I almost said, "Oh, I'm at a place near Tema," since everybody's calling from Tema.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Anyway, so Ojo, tell me, anything that is unregulated, who can tell the price? I mean, you can go to the shop across Joy FM and say you want to buy, let's say, a bottle of Coke, and they may tell you that the bottle costs, let's say, 1 cedi, right? If you move and go to a 5-star hotel in the same city, they'll tell you that that same bottle of Coke costs what, 10 cedis. So anything that isn't regulated, definitely it's a capitalist, system that would work. Imagine if transportation prices were not regulated in some way. It would have been chaos. Everybody would charge whatever they want, and customers would be just left, to think for themselves. I hope you get what I'm saying.
I do.
Anything that isn't regulated, everybody will just do what suits them. So check it. Anything that we do not regulate, not only in this country, anywhere in the world, it's a seller's market, not even a buyer's market. I'm selling my thing. It's my land. I'm selling it for 1 million. The guy next to me is selling his for 1 cedi. I don't care. There's no regulation. I don't answer to anybody. And that's how it's going to be. Even with rent, you go to the rent control and you don't really see what's happening there. They don't control rent, but then ideally they're supposed to regulate it. And because they don't regulate rent, we even have laws to regulate the pricing. You see how that goes. Everybody charges what they want, and we just live with it. So regulation, Kojo. And once there's no regulation, it gives room for the money laundering and all those activities to go through that channel as well.
Right.
So let's try and get the regulation done. I think it might help us.
Thank you, Kay. Drive safe. Nana is on the motorway. Nana, he's parked. So Nana, let's do this quickly so you can move on. It's not safe to park there. Good morning, though.
Good morning, Kojo. First time calling on the morning show.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thanks for calling.
I think the problem I also feel is causing this is the registration of land in Ghana is very hectic and expensive. Could you imagine paying about 8,000 cedis for registering just a plot of land? So should I buy that land at, let's say, 30,000 after registration and getting everything possible? I end up around 50,000. How much do you expect me to sell that land back to somebody else? And then secondly, I think we have institutions, as everyone is saying, most of our institutions are not functioning well. Rent control, they stay in the offices and they are just taking salary. At the end of the day, we are blaming government that government is not doing well, but we are the cause of almost all the problems that we are facing. So with this housing issue, it's about our land acquisition, the registration process, and the cost of registration is also one of the problems that I think is causing this.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nana. I got a message which said that there are properties next to Regimanuel Estate that cost $450,000. You're talking about airport hills and cantonments. These are our monies that are being laundered and diverted into real estate to conceal the source. And most of these properties are empty and they don't care if they are never bought. It's the same politicians who buy them for their girlfriends who. Is this true? Oh boy. All right. Look, a lot of thoughts being shared here. Oh, there's a message from someone who says, I recall it was $13 million. He even inquired if it was gold. I know because I was being asked by my architects to cough up $1.2 million to build my home, and I figured perhaps it wasn't so bad. So that's $13 million. Someone is saying was the cost that the vice president quoted for that house, not cedis but dollars. Wow. Okay. Anyway, we'll check. $13.9 million. The actual amount. Yes, dollars. Hey. Oh boy. Okay. So look. Let's be clear. It's not really economics that is driving this. If it was economics, then we would say that property is expensive in Accra and surrounding areas because of scarcity. But is it scarcity when there are so many empty properties? Is it scarcity? also the increase in the dollar price of property from one year to the next makes no sense. The property is already built, is there. You are not adding any cost to it every year. There's no addition of cost. So why is the price going up? The dollar price. The dollar is not depreciating. In fact, in the past 50 years, I don't think the dollar has depreciated by 10%. So why is the price going up? In Chado, we heard about the property that in 2019 cost something around was it 30 to 50,000? Now it's 120,000. What is behind that price increase? Not economics. So what is it? Maybe, as many callers are saying, we need to call for regulation. We have another important conversation to have. When we come back from the break, we'll talk about this.
Recently, the bill that came was almost 130 for water, and
wow, I just paid my taxes right now. Since they started this pay from anywhere, it has become easier, cra.
Easy, cra. Now nobody has an excuse. So long, Jenny, no ye jai. Tax, why? Effie, don't tell me you have not been paying taxes, oh.
No, I'm tired of paying. Don't be. It's the taxes we pay that government will use to improve the markets and to build the nation, oh.
I don't know. It just takes your whole day. Hey, you mean you have been going to the GRA office?
Effie, unye current, cra. Come and join us. So I'm not paying taxes, no.
Pay your taxes online, at the bank, or from your phone. Together, we can build a great nation. GRA.
Everyone is proud of the doctor I've become. I'm grateful.